The concerns of police survivors truck series takes on Iowa in the ButtKicker 150 presented by Nazwa Racing. Oh, my name is William Tiller. Of course, I'm joined by Jake Reeves and Adam Flieger here on the Nazwa 360 Racing Network. Coming off the heels of an exciting finish at the Milwaukee Mile, which saw Phil Pappas lock his way into those playoff races. Tonight, these drivers take on the cornfields of Iowa. If you build it, they will come. Jake, why don't you tell us about this track and what to expect in tonight's race?
Well, everybody at home, this is actually one of my favorite short tracks on the iRacing service. Very, very unique racetrack, about 0.88 miles, so it's not even a mile. It's right about, I guess you could say more or less 3/4 of a mile. Very, very unique racetrack, very bumpy racetrack. These drivers are going to really have their hands full, especially going into turn number 1 and turn number 2, right there smack dab in the middle lane. And you'll see these guys get right in that middle lane in 1 and 2. It is very, very bumpy. It's about like Las Vegas was Monday night for the Sim Racer Hub Truck Series. Very, very bumpy over M1 and 2 in that middle lane. You're going to see a lot of guys try to keep it right smack dab on that yellow line. Coming off of turn number 2, that's going to be a treacherous corner. From the banking transition from the corner to the straightaway, it's going to basically look like what we saw a couple of weeks ago at New Hampshire. That's basically what that transition is. Kind of got a little bit of a hump in turn number 2. Going down the backstretch, going into turn number 3, very, very, very good corner. You're going to see some guys literally run all 3 lanes tonight here Iowa in that turn 3 and 4, right on the bottom, right in the middle, and you're going to see some of them try to get that run to go right up against the wall, and that's in Layton's terms and short a lap here at the famed Iowa Raceway.
Exactly. As we check out those race details on your screen, there are a few drivers to call out here that will have to serve penalties before the drop of the green flag. Huck Whittington on that 00 will not get a chance to qualify. Also a pass-through penalty on lap number 1. Zach Hartwick, no qualifying. Michael McKinnon, no qualifying, plus a pass-through on lap number 1. Joey Doucette, Jonathan Munda, Jose Luis Rivera, no qualifying runs, as well as Jeff Sickles. Stephen Thomas in that 23 is actually suspended here tonight. Hunter Parsons, no qualifying. Keith Bradley, the animal, no qualifying. Dana Shepard in that 45, no qualifying, plus a pass-through on lap number 1. Adam Johnson as well. But let's jump to that starting grid to see who's going to kick off the ButtKicker 150. It's going to be Jeff Merrick at the top of the grid. Kevin D'Elia, Ashley Dodson, Justin White, Adam Newton, Kyle Hess, Blake Lothian, Taylor Peacock, Ted Wade, and Chris Cinnamon will be our top 10.
And then Ed Osborne going to be in that 11th spot. Phil Pappas, the winner from 1 week ago here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. And that beautiful 85 Caterpillar entry will be in that 12th spot. Right behind them is going to be James Morris in the 13th spot, with Brandon Bullock going to be in that 14th spot starting off here tonight. Raul Meza will be 15th, with Jacob Klinkhart in that 16th spot. Christopher Blanchard will be 17th. Justin Lumpkin will be 18th. Cody Knott going to be in 19th, with Trey Pitts. He'll be the last of the guys to take a time here tonight.
Yeah, we look at Robbie Richards there in 21st, Keith Bradley 22nd, Michael McKinnon 23rd, Jose Luis Rivera 24th, Joey Doucette 26th, Adam G. Johnson 27th, Huck Whittington 28th, and rounding out our field here tonight, it's Dana Shepard in that 45. And those are all drivers that did not get a chance to qualify, but it looks like the lights are off of the pace truck. We're going to get things rocking and rolling here at the cornfields of Iowa. Jeff Merrick has had an excellent season so far. It looks like we're going to go one more time around. And Jake, actually, that gives us time to award some hardware before this race kicks off, and that's our Hard Luck Award winner. That's going to be awarded to Mr. Ashley Dotson. Of course, that is sponsored by Flieger Farm Paint Shop. Do you want a personal experience designing your race car? Would you like to take the stress out of figuring out who can do the best work? Well, contact Flieger Farm Paint Shop. Started in 2020. First wraps are free. You heard that right. They are free the first time. Sponsoring many charity races across the iRacing platform. Now our Hard Luck Award winner sponsor, Flieger Farms, will make you feel lucky you chose them. them. Contact Adam at Flieger Farm Paints on Facebook today and ask about your free paint scheme. That's Flieger Farm Paint Shop on Facebook. And for Ashley Dotson, that 88, we've seen this week after week. You get that hard luck award, and now he's starting inside the top 5, so it might be a good luck award for some of these drivers.
Absolutely, and we've seen the same thing happen with Keith Bradley. Had the hard luck award at New Hampshire, but green flag is in there. We are racing in the C.O.P.S Truck Series here at Iowa. Jeff Merrick down on the bottom of Kevin D'Elia, stuck up on that top side. Here goes Ashley Dodson all the way from third down to the bottom, all the way up to the top to try to get the run as they go into turn number 3.
Jeff Merrick, our race leader, coming off of 4. He looks to lead the first lap under green. D'Elia's right there, and Merrick will do that. He'll lead the first lap under green as we're single file. Most of the drivers are going to dive down to that inside here in 1 and 2, but it will be the 60 taking us off of corner number 2.
And just as I mentioned, you really want to watch going through 1 and 2 right in the middle of the racetrack. Very, very bumpy. Will upset your truck big time. Make your truck bottom out and push or get loose however you was to hit those bumps. But right now, everybody looking like they're keeping it clean and green right now for lap 3. Merrick looks like he's got a pretty good truck a hold of him tonight, getting a hold of it and trying to get away from Kevin D'Elia. Ashley Dodson actually running right up on that top lane. Probably right above, I guess you could say, that very last seam. So Dodson trying to see if he can get some speed up there on that top. Newton right behind him with Justin Wright right in that top.
You see Dotson on that top side, Jake. Could that just be a conserving factor? I know we're very, very early on this race, but is that a line you want to rock just to take a little bit of pressure off those tires? I see the majority of the field is going low on the corners. Could this be a little strategy out of the 88?
Well, I mean, honestly, if you run the top, depending on how you drive it, you're going to be on the throttle more up top than you would be down on the bottom. So up top, you're actually going to be burning more tire than you would be on the bottom of the racetrack. So I'm not real sure exactly what he is doing up there. Maybe he's trying to ride that seam to help the truck turn. That way he does not get tight later on in the run. But from what it's looking like, I mean, he's able to hold ground very much right here with Jeff Merrick and Kevin D'Elia. And actually looks like he's starting to pull away from Adam Newton and Justin White to a certain extent.
Yeah, and you check out that battle that's happening behind the 88. That's Adam Newton there in that DSR electric machine. He's under fire from Justin White in that too. Both of them rocking different paint schemes here tonight. Justin White will look to the inside into the corner. He'll go all the way to the bottom of the racetrack there. He'll fly by the 82 there. Justin White takes that position, moves up inside the top 4, and you're seeing gapped out positions already in this race. Jeff Merrick, Kevin D'Elia are probably the closest at each other. Then you have about a second and a half almost between Ashley Dotson and Jeff Merrick. Single file all the way into 1 and 2. And I think right here tonight, Jake, we're seeing that patience is a virtue. If they can stay patient on the racetrack and just keep calm, keep cool. I know we're only 8 laps in, but you don't want to press anything too early.
Absolutely. You really don't want to press anything way too early in this race. But, we know that when crunch time comes down to it, and we get to the later portions of this race in that final stage with about, maybe 30, 40 laps to go, that's when the intensity is going to pick up. That's when everything is going to get crazy like it always does, because these guys know that coming down to it, if you win this race, you are 100% locked into the playoffs for the end of the season. So, everybody looks like they're keeping their cool. Everybody's keeping it straight. Nobody's getting crazy as of right now, but we know eventually all hell's going to break loose and everybody's going to be driving crazy, I guess you could say, at the later portions of this race.
Yeah, we heard the sigh of relief out of the 85 of Phil Pappas last week when he got his first victory. I think it was his first victory in Nazareth there. locked himself in there. So you can think about that, Jake. For the next 20 or so weeks, you have that stress of racing into the playoffs off your back. Obviously, Phil is a full-time driver here in this series, so he does qualify for that win and you're in strategy. And, we talked about him. Now it's going to be looking forward to working as a team, getting more wins for that stable. And I think that stable, you look at who else is in that stable with Phil Pappas. It is a stacked group there. You look at the likes of, you looked at the team last week, Joey Doucette's in there, Ashley Dotson, Ed Osborne. So there's a lot of names really that are going to push that car along, really get it moving. Look at Kyle Hess, James Morris there as well. So a lot of names are going to push that 85 along.
Absolutely. And, with that happening, like you said, it takes the pressure off of Phil Pappas to not have to worry about winning. He can just go out here and basically throw caution to the wind for the next couple of weeks, couple of months. Just throw caution to the wind, not even worry about what is going on, to just go ahead and just have a good shot, go ahead and get some good runs in, and keep his truck up under him, not get anything crazy. But I'll say this, he ain't got to worry about nothing. These two guys up front are trying to get it going right here. Kevin D'Elia and Ashley Dotson. Dotson's actually ran down Kevin D'Elia as Merrick has actually opened up to a 1.5-second lead over this battle right here for this second spot. Dotson's still trying to see if he can figure out a way to get around D'Elia, and he better find it out pretty quick because Justin White and Adam Newton starting to close right up on Dodson's tailgate.
Yeah, and that's a BP Racing for Autism stable there. James Morris, Kyle Hess. I think both those drivers, Kyle Hess, James Morris, will break through as well this season. But as you mentioned right there, Kevin D'Elia is trailing behind our leader, Jeff Merrick. And I think Jeff Merrick in that 60 is one of those rookies that I talked about here that I like to mention that really have hit the ground running here in this series, made themselves known, in some touchy-feely ways. Those first couple races of the season there came in very, very aggressive to kick it off, but you're seeing that skill set here early on in this race. Oh my goodness, there, Jake, as Ashley Dotson goes high side of the racetrack, throws that that tail right in front of the nose of Kevin D'Elia, almost causes our first caution of the night. That's going to open the door though for Justin White, who's going to push Kevin D'Elia up the track. They're going to go side by side for third into 3 and 4.
And that's exactly what Ashley Dotson needed to do. He saw in his mirror that Justin White and Adam Newton started to really close in on him, so he wanted to try to get around Kevin D'Elia as fast as he possibly could. Let these other two guys have to try to fight their way to get around D'Elia. As you see, Newton going to go all the way to the bottom of the racetrack, try to get up under Justin White. And White if you can make the middle and the top lane work, you can really pin some guys down on that bottom lane. As you're seeing Justin White able to get a little bit of a run and get himself clear now of Adam Newton, but going into the corner. Newton's going to drive it in. He's going to get him on that entry of the corner. And then right here coming off of the corner, you're going to see White get that run and start to pull back. So that's one of the great characteristics, I guess you could say, here at Iowa. But now they're looking 3 wide trying to come off of turn number 4.
Yeah, I gotta say the DSR electric machine of Adam Newton has been on a run lately. Maybe he hasn't been in victory lane as much as everybody else, but the finishes, the top fives, the podiums here the last month or two have really stacked up for the 82 machine, whether it's here in the Friday night series or the Monday night series. He's been on a tear lately as he looks to the inside of Kevin D'Elia here to move up the grid, up to third. They're gonna go door to door off of corner number 4. We have our first caution of the night here in the ButtKicker 150.
First caution of the night, and it's no surprise to see it, especially with here at Iowa Speedway, more or less a short track, if you will. And wow, you see it back there, look like Taylor Peacock getting involved in this. Look like Peacock actually got turned into the fence. Not real sure exactly what had happened right there, but a bunch of other guys getting stacked up in this. You see the 20 of Jose Luis Rivera also getting involved in this as well. James D. Morris, we talked about him just a second ago with the BP Racing for Autism team. He gets stacked up in this as well. And you see right here, I mean, actually, no, that's not Peacock. That's actually Raul Meza. Excuse me. Both their paint schemes look very, very similar, I guess you could say, but straight into the fence. And wow, I mean, that looked like a racing deal to me right there, Will.
Yeah, that's very tough. And for Raul Meza, again, another hard break. You see Jose Luis Rivera, Robbie Richards, as you mentioned, that BP for Racing for Autism machine. Cody Knott's going to be involved in this as well. And another tough break. And folks, if you're unfamiliar with the format here at Nazareth, no fast repairs for the drivers. So if you saw your favorite driver involved in that, it's probably going to be the end of their night. That was another on the pole instant replay. And I got to say, Jake, it took us a little bit to get that first caution.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, if we can go back and look at that replay, that actually all did not start right there with Raul Meza. It actually started with Robbie Richards going into turn number 1 right there with the 84 of James D. Morris. They were going into turn number 1, and it looks like Morris just did not get on the brakes as good. Got into the back of Robbie Richards, and that kind of just got everybody kind of stacked up. You're going to see it right here with Richards. And wow, yeah, Morris just kind of just was not able to get on the brake. You see some of these guys sliding by him very so slightly, and there's your contact right there with Raul Meza and Jose Luis Rivera. Looked like Robbie Richards may have came down a little bit, pinched him down, if you will. Kind of got that whole chain reaction may started with that, but that happens big time. When one accident happens, everybody else trying to figure out a way to try to get around it as fast as they possibly can. And then that's just when chaos starts.
Yeah, especially on a track like this, we've seen it, short track racing, you get loose, there's really nowhere to go. And in that instance right there, you have somebody wreck out or spin, you're racing so hard, so tight here tonight, really nowhere to go on the racetrack. And for some of these guys, I know it's early on in the season, but you sort of want to get that confidence flowing. You want to start to feel yourself, even if you're a top 15, top 20 driver in some of these races, you want to start to sort of build that momentum. We're seeing it in that Monday night series, only 3 regular season races left. Even though you might find yourself in the low side of the point standings to start off, some of those guys can really make a push, or you can be like Phil Pappas last week, who wins that race, locks himself in here just a few weeks into this season. We had the same thing happen in our Monday night series. A guy went from 24th in the points. We take the top 20. He wins the race, locks himself in. So a lot of these guys, you want to start to get that energy going, that confidence building. And here at Iowa, it is a tough track, I got to say, Jake, but we'll start to see who's going to rise of the crop here tonight.
Absolutely, Will. And to be honest with you, you were talking about it, basically building confidence. Basically, what these guys are doing at this particular point in the season, you're starting out right now. Basically, what you're doing is you're building a resume, which would be, for personal reasons, like when you start out for your very first job and you try to get a job history leading up to where you want to get. For your job for years to come. These guys basically, that's exactly what these guys are doing. They're basically starting out. They're building a resume as we speak. Now, you may have some guys like Phil Pappas just come out of absolutely nowhere and not even build the resume, just go ahead and get the job that he wants right off the bat from what he did last week at Milwaukee. But most of these guys at this point, building a resume, building confidence, like you said, to get themselves ready for the playoffs. If they're able to get that little bit of a raise, hint, a win, that is big time for them, especially for their resume leading up to the final playoffs later on this season.
Absolutely, as will be our Hard Luck Award winner, taking a drop of the green flag, as well as Jeff Merrick. They're rolling, they are roaring into corners 1 and 2. Jeff Merrick in the 60 will take the field.
And he is going to try to see if he can try to check out like he did earlier, but check it out. Ashley Dodson, Adam Newton, side by side. Newton going to get the run on the top side, jump down right in front of Ashley Dodson. Right behind him, Kevin DeLea, seeing if he can try to make a move up through the field and try to see if he can try to sneak up here and grab something if he can. Justin White actually got around Taylor Peacock, and Peacock very happy that he's got the paint scheme that he's got, not the same one that Raul Meza had, because I got them mixed up a minute ago, but Peacock running very comfortably right now inside that top 10.
Yeah, Taylor Peacock in that 81, another one of those drivers that has that mojo flowing here as of late. He wants to keep it up there, though. I think in the last couple of weeks he's just been involved in those late race cautions. He's really just torn up a great race car there. No fault of his own there. You know how it goes there, Jake, at the end of these races, at the last 50 laps to go, everybody's jockeying, everybody's hungry for positions. As you see, the 81 is just trying to get around Justin White here. He has the 43 machine of Blake Lothian behind him. He's going to push him along on that top side. 81's going to have a lot of speed coming off of 4. Looks to the inside of Justin White into 1 and 2. See if he can carry that momentum into the top 5.
And he is trying to get it going, knowing that we've got about 7 laps until that first stage break is going to happen, and that's when we're going to pay out those big time, what everybody really looks for, those stage points. As wow, Peacock slides up just a little bit, gets into White. Lothian almost gets loose, stacks him up on the outside.
Oh my goodness, you can tell Blake Lothian is used to driving on ice because he just hit an ice patch on the racetrack there. Saved that thing racing out of New England. He is used to that style of driving there. Jakey keeps it moving, keeps it grooving inside the top 10.
Absolutely, and that's going to really start to open the door up for some of these guys when they stacked it up. Jacob Klinkhardt trying to see if he can nudge himself into that top 10, get him a couple of stage points. Want to mention real big time right here for the Mission 1 Esports team, Keith Bradley did not qualify for this race, started 22nd in the field. Now he's inside the top 10 looking for some stage points.
Yeah, you know how the animal does. He eats up the field during these races. You cannot keep him down. As I like to say, you get knocked down, you get up again. That 29 machine is singing that song all night here as Justin White hits the topside wall. Keith Bradley got a little hesitant there. He went zooming by, even with a little bit of a tail wiggle into 3 and 4. Now Keith Bradley's up 16 spots from the top of the green flag. He is trying to eat up the top 5, just 1 spot out into 1 and 2.
It looks like he's probably going to be able to get to it because he is seriously reeling in D'Elia and Peacock right up on their tailgates, if you will. Going to take a look to the outside of Taylor Peacock, see if he can get something rolling. And, well, I'm telling you, this guy right here, the animal, last season's champion, this is a huge drive for him all the way from the back, doing it the hard way, if you will. Like I said, 22nd did not get to qualify. Now he's looking to finish inside the top 5 in stage 1. I'm telling you, he may have something for Jeff Merrick at the end of this thing, but Newton not too far away from Merrick as we're coming to the last lap in the stage.
Yeah, he looks to the inside right there of D'Elia trying to move up the grid. We jump back up to the top into 1 and 2. Jeff Merrick still leads in that 60. Adam Newton is to the inside as well. He's trying to mirror that line coming off of corner number 2. You see Ashley Dotson in your point of view there, racing out of Australia as Jeff Merrick will take us off of 4. Still our race leader, Adam Newton right behind.
And Merrick is going to get that stage 1 win. Newton's going to come home second with that stage 1 for some points. Dodson going to get 3rd. Keith Bradley going to get 4th over Kevin D'Elia. D'Elia will get 5th. Taylor Peacock will get 6th. Lothian 7th. Justin White a couple times getting into the fence. He's going to get 8th. Ted Wade will get 9th. And the last guy out of all of them to get stage points, that's the 5 truck of Jacob Klinkhardt.
And I gotta say, for Keith Bradley there in that 29, you saw that speed creeping up there. But also watch out for Kevin D'Elia in that 53. Although he slides just a little bit there down the grid, still holds the fastest lap so far. But I also got to mention the 29 of Keith Bradley. Last time by, when we ended that stage, Jake ran a 24.8, about a second faster than everybody else in the field.
And that is big to see that right here. And I mean, that's showing some speed, that's showing some experience here at Iowa, but we're getting ready to see these guys jump in, get them some tires, and be able to send right back out there and get this bad boy going. Remember, the tire limit for this race, 4 sets of Goodyear Eagles, so that's 3 in the pits with a 4th one on the truck. So you're going to see these guys really go down, get these 4 fresh tires, get ready to get to this stage break that is going to be really crucial getting to this second stage break. Second stage break is going to be at lap 75. So you're going to see a lot of guys come in and get these tires, and see if they can melt them down once again for this second stage.
Yeah, and as the field heads down pit road here, Jake, our title sponsor of the night is ButtKicker. Why don't you tell our folks at home about an awesome device that they can add to their iRacing sims?
Well, I mean, ButtKicker's got a lot of great things that they have. They got a lot of great things with the sim rigs. Me personally, I do not have one of those. I would love to have one, but I have heard about their sim rigs and how they've got them. Some of the rigs actually very good with the motion sensors kind of deal, where you got the whole thing where you feel everything inside. Basically, you feel like you're actually in the truck or car or what have you on the iRacing service. So they've got some awesome products. Might want to really go check them out. And very awesome to see them as a title sponsor for tonight's ButtKicker 150.
Yeah, actually, in our All-Star race there in our Monday night series, we gave that away as a prize, and that went to Blake Lothian there in that 43 truck, and you could tell how excited he was to add that to the mix. We invite you to go check them out. Go search ButtKicker on Google, Facebook, wherever you need to go find them. As Jake mentioned, that's one of the coolest things you can add to your iRacing simulator. Although, Jake, it might be fun to have one, you're going to feel everything on the racetrack. So all the bumps, all the bruises, everything you're going to feel. We invite you to go check out ButtKicker today and feel what you've been missing, because, boy, you're going to feel a lot once you get set ButtKicker.
Absolutely, and especially here at Iowa, you're gonna feel every single bump. Like I was talking about earlier, with those bumps in 1 and 2, you take one of them rigs and you go to Auto Club. Oh man, you're gonna feel every little bump that goes around that place. And we know how Auto Club is, as bumpy, as worn out as that place is, and even Darlington Raceway, as bumpy as that place is. So I mean, everybody really needs to go check out ButtKicker. Because they will literally, no pun intended, kick your butt with those rigs. They are awesome.
As the field awaits the drop of the green flag, we're going to have a new top 10 on the racetrack. Chris Cinnamon in that 3. Jeff Merrick's right there, our stage winner. Adam Newton, Keith Bradley, Kevin D'Elia, Blake Lothian, Taylor Peacock, Justin White, Jacob Klinkhart's cruising up the grid, and Ted Wade will be our top 10 for the drop of the green flag here in stage number 2 over the ButtKicker 150 here live on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. And from stage number 1 there, Jake, what are some of the things that are maybe sticking out to you so far?
Well, right now, honestly, it's the speed right now out of that number 60 truck of Jeff Merrick. We've seen some serious speed out of that number 60 entry here tonight. But another thing that I did see, that there's a guy that's got a lot of speed out here. That's Keith Bradley. I'm not real sure. I'm trying to look right here, actually third, right behind him. So this right here is going to be real key in this second stage right here. We've seen Bradley come all the way from the back of the field, literally from the back of the field, all the way up to where he is at right now. He is going to be the guy that's going to be really chomping at the bit, I guess you could say, to try to see if he can dethrone Jeff Merrick. These two guys right here, I'm telling you, Merrick and Bradley, barring anything crazy happening to them here in this race, these two are going to be the guys that I believe is going to be fighting it out for the win here tonight.
Absolutely, as the field comes rumbling across the start-finish line, it will be Chris Cinnamon racing out of Canada, taking the field into 1 and 2.
As well as you would say, oh, Canada, he is trying to roll up on that top lane, but with those older tires, he's going to get swallowed up big time right now by Jeff Merrick as they're going to go around him. 3 wide going into 3, Newton all the way down on the bottom. Bradley stuck in the middle. Now Cinnamon's going to the back, as from what it looks like, as Merrick's going to see if he can try to clear away from everybody, see if he can get away from Newton and Bradley, as Newton and Bradley still battling it out for that second spot.
Yeah, side by side, through the top drivers here in Nazareth across the Monday night series and Friday night series here in the Concerns of Police Survivors. You see Keith Bradley, Adam Newton side by side for a second. Jeff Merrick does not want to look in his rear view and see this dog fight that's going on across that start-finish line. Jeff Merrick is a rookie in this series. He has not been racing like it, though very good the last couple of weeks. The 60 machine will take us down on the backstretch into 3 and 4 as our race leader.
Well, you mentioned as we got a caution on the Speedway. I'll get to what I was going to say here in a minute, but Justin Lumpkin, wow, one of the big contenders here in the Cops Truck Series, going for a spin off of turn number 2. We're going to look at it right here on the pole instant replay, see exactly what happened to Lumpkin. Looked like he got a little bit of a love tap, I guess you could say, from I believe that might have been Joey Doucette, or it might have been Dana Shepard. Both of them rocking the purple paint schemes out here, and that does look like it was Joey Doucette. And you're gonna see right here, Lumpkin get into the corner. Looks like he might have drifted up just a little bit, and then you're gonna see Doucette come in right here. Did he make contact with Lumpkin? Actually, looks like Lumpkin is going to go for the spin all on his own. You see him literally sideways right there. And Will, that turn 2, I mentioned it with that transition from the corner to the backstretch. That turn 2, it gets everybody every single time.
Yeah, I think it's a no harm, no foul type of caution there. The 18 is going to suffer no damage to that machine. You saw Joey Doucette do the best that he could do to make sure he avoided contact with the back bumper of that. We're also going to check out another thing that happened here on the racetrack. That's Zach Hartwick. Ooh, that's where it's at right there. That's definitely going to be some heavy damage from Zach Hartwick. He's coming off a big high of winning the Monday night series there, the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. Coming into this race, was probably trying to do 2 wins in a week, but he's going to have some heavy damage on the back end.
And Ashton Dodson's going to have some heavy damage on the front of his truck as well. And maybe, I mean, honestly, Will, that looked like a little bit of a miscommunication, if you will, seeing what was going on right there. The caution come out, and Hartwick actually just jumped on the brakes right there. Honestly, you know, probably should have just let it roll going through the corner. Dodson didn't obviously do it on purpose. He just kind of just had nowhere to go right there when Hartwick just slammed on the brakes for the caution. Dodson just kind of just ran straight back into the back of him. So, I mean, nothing, you know, no harm, no foul. From my perspective on that, no harm, no foul. It was just miscommunication on what was going on.
Yeah, but no change at the top of the grid so far. So the 60 Jeff Merrick, and I believe we're catching up with him now here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network broadcast booth. And Jeff, you get that stage 1 victory. You're looking very strong here to start off stage number 2. What's the strategy here tonight? What led to that stage 1 win?
I think what led to it mainly more than anything is a lot of the fast guys got EOLs from Milwaukee and they're in the back. As you can see, Keith is already back up here. It's about saving tires, being fast, which line you're running. You know, just keeping the car underneath you, not sliding the rears off the exit.
And Jeff, I talked about how you're a rookie this season, but you really haven't been racing like it. What's the confidence inside that 60 that's led to the style of racing so far this season?
Yeah, I'm a rookie in this league, but I've been on iRacing for a couple of years now. I helped John Hendrick, Upfront Motorsports owner, run a league before, and he was down a driver. He reached out, asked if I was still on, and I was like, yeah, you know. And he recruited me, brought me over, and seems like a really good group of guys to run with so far. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the season.
So you win the qualifier race here at Daytona to kick off Speed Weeks. Haven't seen victory lane since then. What is it going to take here tonight to put that 60 in victory lane?
Just patience. Don't chase the rabbit, as we like to say. We're kind of just out here. Yeah, you got to run your own race. Can't worry about what everybody around you's doing. You just got to kind of do your own thing.
Alrighty, Jeff, we'll let you go here as we await the drop of the green flag. Good luck the rest of the way, my man, and hopefully we speak to you again later on.
Great start.
Bud, thanks.
That was Jeff Merrick, the driver of the number 60 machine, and Jake, he talked about it. You know, some of those fast guys did endure penalties to start off this race, but Jeff's having great restarts, being able to block those lanes, a lot of speed underneath that, so I think maybe he's being a little humble in his abilities here at Iowa.
Absolutely, and you know, Will, we talked about it just like I was fixing to say just a second ago about Jeff Merrick. Granted, he has ruffled some feathers, I guess you could say, here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series, but you know, these guys out here, granted, you're out here to make friends, you're out here to, you know, have buddies, I guess you could say, to race with, but at the same time, when it comes down to racing for a championship during the season, These guys, they don't want to be your buddy. These guys is out here trying to win just like you are. And, sometimes, you got to be a little bit forceful, I guess. Hey, the great Dale Earnhardt was very forceful in his career, and look what he did. So Merrick may have a little bit different style than some of these other guys, but right now he doesn't have to worry about nobody in front of him because he takes the drop of the green flag, gets a great jump on Bradley and Adam Newton. So he's going to jump out to a good lead. Newton down on the bottom. Bradley stuck up on that top side as they go into turn number 3.
Yeah, Adam Newton wasting no time as well as he's to the inside of the 29 of Keith Bradley. The ESR Electric Machines feeling electric here tonight, trying to snag that second spot from the animal. Jeff Merrick knows this battle is happening behind him. It's been happening behind him now for a few laps. That 60 machine, though, is keeping it very, very cool. Knowing he's got 2 dogs behind him there coming off of corner number 2. There's single file here down the backstretch into corners 3 and 4.
And Bradley, that's exactly what he needed to do, was to get clear of Adam Newton. That way he's not having to burn his tires up any more than he needs to be able to save what he can, have a shot to run at Merrick for this stage 2 win. Remember, it's at lap 75, folks, so got a couple more laps to get it done right here. And right now Bradley showing how he is a champion, showing the rookie how to do it, literally up his tailgate off of turn number 2 as these laps are clicking away as fast as they can, as Bradley now going to take a shot to the inside and challenge Merrick for the lead.
As the animal's trying to chew down on the top spot of the grid to the inside of the 60. We're side by side coming off corner number 2 here down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Keith Bradley still low side. Jeff Merrick a little bit higher there mid side of the corner. Keith Bradley still trying to ride the momentum off the corner. Oh, not enough though. As the 60 throws the block, he leads that lap into 1 and 2. That's going to kill some of that momentum here into 1 and 2 as we come down the backstretch here. Still the 60 Jeff Merrick leading the way.
And Newton needs every little bit that he can to try to get Bradley back to him and maybe have another shot at him for second place. Bradley trying to figure out which lane he wants to try to run. Looks like he really wants to run that middle lane. So we'll see if Bradley can figure something out as they get into turn 1. Now he's going to go to the top and challenge Merrick for the lead.
Keith Bradley thinking about a topside run there coming off of 2, has to follow right back behind the bumper of the 60 down the backstretch. He'll look to the inside. No, he checks up into 3 and 4. This battle is just keep going on as Adam Newton is watching from afar. And I gotta say, Jake, looking at this season, you look at Keith Bradley, he wins at New Hampshire, he shuts the door on Blake Lothian and winning at his home track. You look at last week's race, had a chance to go back to back there. Phil Pappas was able to close the door after Keith Bradley ran into some late race trouble. So you're looking at a chance of Keith Bradley going back to back, and if the run he's having here tonight could win this race as well. He's really picking up where he left off last season when he won the championship.
Absolutely, and he's showing basically what he is doing right now, folks, is he has got that animal mentality, basically knowing that Merrick is a rookie in this series, basically just worrying him to death right now, and that's a great mentality to have, especially from last season's champion, a previous champion here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series, doing a great job literally worrying him to death, trying to keep that mare full, because these braking points is really, really big. It's really big on how to enter the corner and come out of the corner. So what he's doing, trying to fill that mirror full, that way Merrick is looking up in the mirror more than he is looking out front. And then try to get Merrick to try to overdrive the corner. That way Merrick can just take Bradley just take a clean shot and go right around him and take the lead.
Yeah, as the battle for the lead now simmers down just a little bit, I think Keith's going to hold back just a little bit here in the stage. Actually wiggles there coming off of corner number 2. Looking further down the grid, though, you look at Dana Shepard with a huge run in this race. He's up to 14th. Michael McKinnon's right in front of him as well in that 13 machine. He's up 16 spots from the drop of the green flag. These are drivers currently inside the top 15. They are trying to make their way up the grid. Big runs out of those guys so far here in tonight's race.
Absolutely. You see a lot of other guys getting some major runs as Justin White just got into the fence. Jacob Klinkhart really battling very hard. I've been watching this for the past 3 laps right here. Klinkhart down on the bottom of the racetrack. Kevin DeLeas still trying to work the top as best as that he can. But ever so often, Klinkhart will nudge that nose to the inside, try to see if he can squeak something out and maybe try to get around D'Elias. You see him, he thought about it, but then he pulled right back in behind D'Elias. He sees now Ted Wade starting to jump back up in this battle, and right behind him, do not count out the Joker. You see him right there in that purple truck, the Joker, Joey Doucette, all the way from 21st all the way up to the top 10 here at stage number 2 is Clinkhart seeing if he can try to get around Kevin D'Elia right here.
As we watch them come off of 2, I think you were spot on with that observation, Jake. Corner number 2 here at Iowa is a tough corner. I've seen some trucks get very, very loose coming off there. Jacob Klinkart looks to have that position. We're checking out Justin White there right behind the 81 machine of Taylor Peacock. This is a battle for the top 5 if Justin White can get up there. But you see Kevin D'Elia is going to lose another spot. Oh my goodness, as they almost make contact coming off of that Calamity corner. Ted Wade looks to take advantage of that as Kevin D'Elia is forced up the track, and as the folks at home are saying, Dana Shepard is on the move. He is behind Michael McKinnon in that 13. There are hard chargers so far.
Absolutely, and they are doing a good job of maneuvering through this field, just trying to be able to try to get around on the best that they possibly can, try to limit what the competition is doing. Granted, both of these guys, we talked about it, having to not qualify and start in the back, so they had to go the hard road, just like Keith Bradley had to do as well. But they're trying to claw their way as much as they possibly can, try to get to that top 10 spot, which is right now occupied by Joey Doucette. And right between Joey Doucette and Michael McKinnon, got to check it out, Kyle Hess, and not to mention last week's winner, Phil Pappas as well, still seeing if he can try to claw his way into the top 10.
As I mentioned, I think there's a newfound mojo, a newfound confidence in the BP for Racing for Autism stable. You know, with that win from Phil Pappas, I think it's going to kick-start some big moves out of that team, especially out of Kyle Hess right there in that 86. They're moving up the grid here. They're now inside the top 15. Kyle Hess has last week's winner right behind him here as they're trying to get around Ted Wade in that 32. The Joker on the low side of Ted Wade in the corner. And, you know, one thing that I want to point out, we haven't been up to the lead here for a second. Jeff Merrick now has a second lead on Adam Newton, who just took the spot away from the animal Keith Bradley here as we have just a few laps to go here in stage number 2.
And this is going to be really big to see this right here. Really thought that, you know, Keith Bradley, from where he came all the way from the back, and basically done it the hard way, trying to get to the front right here. Really thought that Bradley and Merrick was going to be the guys that's going to be really fighting it out. Granted, coming up on halfway, still got a long way to go right here, Will, but we neglected Adam Newton, who has now jumped up in that second spot, seeing if he can try to reel in Jeff Merrick for this stage 1 win. And check out Blake Lothian right behind Bradley. Is Lothian going to see if he can try to put a little bit of a pressure on the last season's champion, Keith Bradley, see if he can slide up there and get that 3rd spot coming to the end of this stage.
Yeah, looking back about 2 weeks ago, Keith Bradley, Blake Lothian were the top 2 dogs at New Hampshire. Blake Lothian's home track. He's raced that track probably a million times, whether it's in real life or here on the simulator. And he led majority of the laps. Jake, he had the fastest lap time, but the animal did just as he does. He got up to Blake with about 20 laps to go, shut the door on Blake Lothian and winning at his home track. And now it looks like Blake Lothian can assert just some revenge here, putting Keith Bradley down a spot. But you look at that DSR electric machine of Adam Newton all by himself here, very fanned out here at the end of stage number 2.
And he is trying to claw his way the best that he possibly can to try to get to Jeff Merrick. We're going to see kind of what the lap times kind of look at right here, see what kind of lap times they are running right now as Merrick goes across the line, runs a 24/7. Newton actually running identical to him with a couple of hundredths off, give or take. So both of these guys running identical lap times, excuse me. So, you know, these guys right here looking pretty good right here as far as stage 2 goes. But I'm telling you, Bradley really starting to feel the pressure, if you will, from Blake Lothian right now, as these guys are going to be battling it out for that 3rd spot as we got 3 laps to go in stage number 2.
Yeah, it impresses me from the run into the 60 of Jeff Merrick. You saw that restart. You saw the pressure he felt from Keith Bradley, the 29 machine there early in this run. He kept his cool. He kept his patience. He kept everything there coming off of 4. And it looks like he'll keep both stages in his pocket as we're going to get the 2 to go here in stage number 2.
And he's just got to run some very, very clean laps right now as Newton ran a 24.8. Merrick actually still in those 24.7s, so gaining just a little bit right there on Adam Newton. Newton laying back in the weeds, just waiting for anything, maybe even just a little bit of a slip, I guess you could say, from the rookie. But be honest with you, Will, right now, Merrick looks like he is the truck to beat here tonight at Iowa.
1 lap to go here in stage number 2. Jeff Merrick in that 60 is separated from Adam Newton. The DSR electric machine currently second in the NASRA power rankings. You see, though, Jeff Merrick, the rookie, didn't feel confident in that interview. He thought, well, I'm just leading because other guys are penalized. But now he'll sweep both stages here in the ButtKicker 150. There is nobody around him as he wins that stage by about a second and a half.
And Newton is going to get second with Bradley going to be coming home in that 3rd spot. Lothian not able to get to him, so Lothian's going to get 4th. Taylor Peacock will get 5th with Justin White 6th. Jacob Klinkart 7th. How about this? Joey Doucette still lingering inside that top 10, getting an 8th place finish here in stage number 2. Kevin D'Elia getting 9th, and the last guy that was able to deny everybody else of a stage point, that's the 86 trucker, Kyle Hess.
Exactly, and you look at Kyle Hess, and just outside of the top 10, he has his teammate Phil Pappas, last week's winner, as we watch the entire field head down pit road here, Jake. And as they're heading down, we look at this run we're going to have now to the finish. We're probably looking at around 80 or so laps when that green flag flies. We see the run now 40 laps. How important is that money stop going to be, looking at probably around 30 or 40 laps to go?
It's going to be very important. Honestly, Will, I mean, it's going to be very important for these guys to be able to get in, get their tires, get the gas, and get out of there as fast as they possibly can. You don't want any disruptions, if you will, that could really cost this right here. But the one thing I really wanted to keep my eye on this right here was Chris Senneman. Senneman was the guy that actually stayed out from the last stage, saved him a set of tires. So Senneman's actually going to have one more set of tires than the rest of the field. That may come into play later on. As I mentioned, you know, this track very, very abrasive, I guess you could say, on these tires. So if it gets down in the later stages and these guys have run out of tires, Senneman might be in the catbird seat with 4 fresh tires, be able to go ahead and get that last set of tires and make a run at the last part. But to be honest with you, Will, this track right here, really, really big on track position. So, you know, Senneman may be thinking that later on, but you really want as much track position as you can possibly have here.
Absolutely, as Jeff Merrick wins the race off of pit road. We're going to take a short break here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. We'll come back with more from Iowa here in the ButtKicker 150. Welcome back to the ButtKicker 150 here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. I am William Tiller. Of course, I'm joined by my co-hosts of the evening, Mr. Jake Reeves, and Adam Flieger is a wonderful producer here. And Jake, what we've seen so far is the rookie really making himself known. He sweeps the first two stages. We've also seen big runs out of Adam Newton in that 82, Blake Lothian right there. The Animal's been in the mix. Also looking further down the grid, you look at Joey Doucette, Michael McKinnon, Phil Pappas. They're really trying to work their way up. So I know we're in for an exciting finish here with 75 laps to go.
Absolutely, and Will, you know this as well as I do, is when crunch time, crunch time's going to start big time with these guys right here. And this is when you're going to see the aggression pick up. This is when you're going to see the bumpers being laid to other drivers, if you will. So it's going to be really, really intriguing to see exactly what happens right here with this last couple of laps right here. See what happens. But green flag is in the air. Merrick's on the gas. Newton, not a good restart for Adam Newton, as he's going to get bypassed right now by Blake Lothian. Lothian going to take over that second spot. Newton going to see if he can slide down, as Newton's going to get very loose off of turn number 2. Slide head first straight into the wall. No caution yet on the Speedway.
Oh, man, that's going to turn the electricity off the 82 machine of Adam Newton. He's going to go all the way to the tail end of the field after spinning out by himself. As we watch another battle raging on, there's Kevin D'Elia. He finds himself in a hornet's nest with Jacob Klinkert in the 5, Taylor Peacock right there as well. Justin White. I think Kevin D'Elia just made contact with the topside wall there. He keeps it moving. There goes the Joker to the inside of the 2. They are jockeying for positions early on here in stage number 2.
And like I said, big time right now, what you want to do is seriously start saving some tire. This is when you're going to see the cream rise to the top, if you will, right here, Will, especially for tire saving. But right now, I'll be honest with you, Lothian, really not really worried about saving that tire right now. He's wanting to try to get up here and get a hold of Jeff Merrick, see if he can lead this race here tonight in the C.O.P.S Truck Series. ButtKicker 150 is Lothian really starting to put a lot of pressure on Jeff Merrick. He hasn't seen that a lot with the likes of any other drivers besides Keith Bradley. Now he's seeing Lothian start putting some pressure on him. We're going to see what the rookie does right here with Lothian breathing down his neck.
Yeah, and I think Blake Lothian is looking back 2 weeks ago from New Hampshire. He was the fastest truck there, dominated that race. Keith Bradley came up and snatched it away from him later on in that race. And I think Blake Lothian, although he didn't win that race, he found that confidence. He knows that he's one of the top drivers here at Nazareth. If he can just get some wins underneath his belt, and it looks like he's trying for it here tonight. Last time by there, we were looking at those lap times identical between Jeff Merrick. We have a 23.9, 23.9 from our top 2 and a 23.8 out of Keith Bradley there in the 3rd spot. So these top 3 guys very, very fast here in stage number 2 as they are single file into 3 and 4.
And they are slipping away from Taylor Peacock and Jacob Klinkert, who is in a side-by-side battle for 4th. Peacock gets a little bit loose coming off of turn number 4. Going to be able to see if he can try to hold it right here as Klinkert give him enough of room to be able to save it, because he saw exactly what was going on. But up front, here comes Lothian. Here comes the 43 of Blake Lothian. He got up to Merrick's door. Really probably scared the rookie, if you will, just a little bit. He's starting to see now. These guys have come to play here tonight. Blake Lothian, Keith Bradley putting some pressure on the rookie.
And I think these are just calculated moves. Some of the drivers are playing checkers. They're playing chess up here at the top of the grid. Keith Bradley does the same strategy. He'll put that nose there just to let you know, hey, I'm right here. He'll fade back, almost like that Homer Simpson's meme that you see where he fades back into the bushes. That's what Blake Lothian's doing here. He peeks out of the bush just for a minute, fades back into the bush. As we jump back here to Kevin D'Elia, our fastest truck of the night so far. He owns the fastest lap time at a 23.5. He's under fire, though, from the Joker of Joey Doucette. He'll go to the inside. He'll use that side draft to compel himself in front of Kevin D'Elia. That will move Joey Doucette just one spot out of the top 5 and 6th.
And Doucette tried to actually use the slide job, but was not able to do it. D'Elia falls back just a little bit. Now Doucette able to slide up in front of D'Elia. Now D'Elia's going to look to the inside, try to see if he can jump her back around Joey Doucette, all this battling right here going on for that 6th spot right outside the top 10, or excuse me, top 5. Clinkart holding on to that top 5 spot, but up front, these 3 guys, I'm telling you, I'm sitting there watching them. Merrick, Lothian, and Bradley really starting to put on a show, as it looks like Merrick now starting to pull away from Blake Lothian right here. This might be a very, very key moment here in the race.
Yeah, this is exactly what we saw there in stage number 2. He lets off just a little bit to start the run, and about the midpoint of the run, that's when you see the 60 really get on that gas pedal, really hit those lines as consistently as he's doing now. And then what that enables, though, Jake, is it just separates from Blake Lothian and Keith Bradley. They can be as fast as they want. It just seems as though Jeff Merrick is locked in this race. Of course, we're going to have one more pit stop to go here the rest of the way, so I'm sure that'll Yahtzee reshuffle things just a little bit. But right now, it is Jeff Merrick just putting on a clinic as we jump back here to Phil Pappas in this 85 machine. He's to the inside of Justin White. This is to just creep up the grid. Phil Pappas in the 85, currently 9th. Kevin D'Elia, though, he's sliding down to 7th. He's under fire from some fast trucks back here. And you see Ashley Dodson back in the mix in the 88.
Ashley Dodson got caught up in that little bit of a, I guess you could say, an incident with Zach Hartwick just a while ago at one of those cautions that really dented in the front of his truck, but now starting to make some moves, jump back inside the top 10, running right on that seam that we've seen him run for a good portion of this race. But Will, I will say this, right now it looks like Lothian's starting to slip back just a little bit from Jeff Merrick right here. Believe it or not, this is when you're going to see, like I said, the cream rise to the top as far as the tire wear will go. These guys, believe it or not, they're not going to really be worried about fuel. It's all about the tires right now, because these guys will be able to make it on fuel all the way to the end. It's just, will they be having enough of tires to be able to make it to the end of the race? That's going to be the big key right here, because they can make it on fuel. They just don't. We just don't know if they can make it on tires or not.
Yeah, exactly. How long do you want to push that truck? How loose do you want to get? I think is the question in this race. And for Jeff Merrick, I think with the line that he's rocking up there, he has no pressure really. Hasn't really felt any pressure majority of tonight's race. I think tire wear for him, he'll be able to maintain there. Jake probably push that window as long as he can, especially with the separation he has now. You know, looking at those lap times, yeah, Keith Bradley's running a little bit faster. With almost a second gap between the two. He needs to do that almost every single lap to get up there to the 60.
And honestly, you know, with the experience that Keith Bradley has, I would not be surprised one bit to see him slide up here and give Jeff Merrick a run for his money right here at the end of this race. We saw Bradley go around Blake Lothian. Lothian basically just pulled over and just basically let him go going into turn number 3. Knows that Keith Bradley is faster than him at this point in the race. So Bradley really got to get some work done right here to see if he can reel in Jeff Merrick. He's got plenty of time, a little bit over 50 laps to go right here. He's got plenty of time. He just needs to be able to save his tires the best that he can, and hope that the rookie's up there burning his stuff up, just trying to keep himself in the lead.
Yeah, and you talked about comebacks in this race. Don't call it a comeback, because right now, Jose Luis Rivera in that 20 machine, you saw him caught up in one of those early cautions. He's up to 16th spot, up 7 spots from the drop of the green flag. And this is really a hornet's nest back here to stay inside the top 15. Chris Cinnamons right there, Ted Wade's right there. Dana Shepard, Michael McKinnon, they continue to move up the grid right there. And you look at this mix of drivers, Ashley Dodson, Kevin D'Elia, all these guys just trying to stay inside the top 10. Michael McKinnon, Dana Shepard trying to crack inside the top 10, both up 17 spots. Dana Shepard up 13 spots in this race. And this is really where the race is taking place here, Jake, to stay inside the top 15.
Absolutely, and the big thing that I'm actually seeing out of this is now we're really starting to see some momentum out of this BP Racing for Autism team, as Phil Pappas has just took away 6th place from Jacob Klinkart. So he is showing that last week at Milwaukee was not a fluke. He knows what he is doing racing here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series. He knows how to get around these short tracks here, especially here at Iowa. So move Pappas up to 6th. It actually looks like he's starting to close in on the Joker, Joey Doucette, for a top 5 here tonight. That would be a huge boost of confidence coming out of a win last week at Milwaukee and being able to grab a top 5 here at Iowa here tonight. That's got to be a huge boost of confidence for that 85 truck of Phil Pappas.
And we've seen it. We've seen it here in Nazareth, what one win can do for you. And I want to shout out Adam Newbert here. We miss him on the track here at Nazareth. Once he got his first win, I believe it was in the Monday night series, he went on a roll. He won 3 or 4 races in a row. He ended up going on to win the championship in that series. You know, all you need is one, Jake. You get that one win out of the way, you feel like, okay, I got some confidence behind the wheel. I can do this. I can put this truck in victory lane. And even for Phil Pappas, with a win last week, if he cracks inside the top 5 again here tonight, it's that momentum, as you were talking about, Jake. You keep that rolling throughout the season. It's confidence. You know you can do it. You're good at it. And right now, he's on the back bumper of the Joker heading into the corner.
Well, we've seen what momentum can do in racing. We've seen what momentum can do in sports in general. Flashback to, probably about maybe, say, 15 years ago, if you will. I'm not sure if you remember. You're a big sports fan. You're a big basketball fan. Remember Tracy McGrady a long time ago had a big-time comeback win for the Houston Rockets. He had some momentum right there in that last 30 seconds of that game, just knocking down 3-pointers, getting the confidence, getting the momentum going. So that's exactly what momentum can do. And momentum can really shoot you forward here in racing as well. Confidence, knowing that, hey, you know what, I got a win last week. Hey, I can go up here and I can play with these guys. I can get up here and race with the top dogs here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series. All it takes is one win. All it takes is one good race, one great finish to make you sit there and go, hey, you know what? I'm the baddest man out here. I am the baddest man on the track. I can run with them. And you see it right here with Phil Pappas riding that momentum as you see him start to try to see if he can inch himself around Joey Doucette, as he will make that pass and make it up inside the top 5. And don't look down. Here comes Ashley Dodson right behind Doucette, going to battle for 6th.
Yeah, Ashley Dotson's right there. He wants to snag a spot from the Joker, Joey Doucette, in that 16. Ashley Dotson, he was involved in one of those early race cautions. He's now climbing back up through the grid. But now Michael McKinnon in that 13. I've spoken about him a few times here tonight, just outside the top 10. Looks like he has a run on Justin White. You see all of these moving parts right here, just at the tail end of the top 10. All of these guys want to move up, but boy, it is a hornet's nest. You see Michael McKinnon in the mix, Justin White, Kyle Hess. You also look at Kevin D'Elia right there, just outside of your point of view. They are scraping. They are racing for a position. Michael McKinnon go to the inside of Justin White here as he's trying to crack inside the top 10. And my hat's off to both Michael McKinnon and Dana Shepard here, who just lingered just outside the top 10. I feel like they're going to make big runs here towards the end of this race.
And absolutely, and don't count out Justin Lumpkin. I mean, we saw what Lumpkin happened to him. Slipped it around, if you will, got loose a while ago, and just spun it out right there in front of Joey Doucette. Now he's up here trying to battle inside the top 10, trying to get him a top 10 tonight. That would be big-time confidence for Lumpkin as well with the past couple of weeks that he has had. So a lot of guys, granted, they're not the ones that's up front battling for the win, but these guys still trying to get top 10s. And like I said earlier, build a resume, build some confidence. That way later on in the season, you know that you're going to be able to, you know that you can do it, Will, and that's exactly what these guys need to do. Granted, like I said, they're not up there running for the lead. They're 8 seconds back from Jeff Merrick, our leader, but with every little bit of momentum, every little bit of confidence that you can get, especially here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series, that's exactly what you need, and that's exactly what can turn a season around.
And folks, we haven't forgotten about our leader Jeff Merrick in that 60. I think he's gone to the concession stands, got him a deep fried corn on the cob on a stick, because he has time to do that now with about a 3-second lead at the top of the grid. He's just absolutely separated himself. He's still running lap times in the 24s, majority of the field still in 25s. But one name that we've been talking about here tonight, Phil Pappas in the 85, he did just take another spot away. He is up to fourth, up 8 spots from the drop of the green flag. That 85 is coming up through the grid.
And he is proving to everybody, even myself, honestly, Will, last week, being a surprise winner at Milwaukee, we thought it was a surprise. We thought, honestly, it was a fluke, just coming out of absolutely nowhere, getting that win. But like I just said a second ago, what momentum can do, what one race can do. One last week at Milwaukee. Now he knows he can just throw caution to the wind. Like I said, here he is running fourth. So big deal right here for Phil Pappas right here in the 85 truck, getting up inside the top 5. Not only that, but going one spot even more to fourth. It looks like, to be honest with you, he's one of those guys just like Merrick, running 24.9s. Lothian right there at that cusp of running a 24.9 as well. But I've been watching Pappas. Pappas running a very clean line, not really burning his tires up. He is starting to make some moves to try to get up here. Challenge Bradley and Lothian, as you see Dodson trying to close up as well, almost getting into Taylor Peacock right there on the front stretch.
Yeah, and we're talking about that BP Racing for Autism entry of Phil Pappas. They just had another truck crack inside the top 10. That's Kyle Hess in the 86, although he slid down the grid just a little bit from the drop of the green flag. He's lingering inside the top 10, so a great night so far for that stable as the 86. He looks in his rear view. There's a lot of trucks back there. He looks to the back bumper of Kevin D'Elia. He's trying to move up to 9th right now.
And he is doing a very good job of it, trying to see if he can get up there battling out with Kevin D'Elia. Actually, Jacob Klinkhardt actually slipping back to him just a little bit. That could be another spot for Kyle Hess to get to. Check out Justin Lumpkin right on his tailgate, right on Hess's tailgate. Basically, everybody trying to mirror one another. But right now, Hess may be looking to try to get by D'Elia, and wow, everything has changed. Hold the phone, Will. We got a caution on the Speedway.
Ooh, just as I was about to say, Phil Pappas looked like a rocket coming through the field. He cut down that gap between him and Blake Lothian, but boy, there will be no gap now. Now the decision here, Jake, do you head down pit road? Do you hope for a late race caution? What do you do here as we watch Jeff Merrick separated there in stage number 2, absolutely was by himself with a 3-second lead. In your opinion, what should you do here? Should you head down pit road, maybe gain some speed from fresh equipment, or should you try to push that envelope just a little bit and then hope for that late race caution?
Well, I mean, honestly, we seen what happened to Chris Cinnamon when he stayed out, on older tires. We saw what happened. He just basically just got gobbled up big time right here. I will be surprised if you see some of these guys stay out. I really think you're going to see just about every single driver in the field go into pits, go ahead, get them 4 fresh tires, send them back out there, and get rocking and rolling. Even Jose Luis Rivera, he's coming around. He's going to get the lucky dog on the Speedway. So obviously he's going to go around and get back on that lead lap. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Jose Luis Rivera going in and getting 4 fresh tires. If you're staying out right here, I really think that you are messing up big time right here.
And I think the entire field took your message. They headed down pit road as Jeff Merrick will win the race off of pit road. Blake Lothian, Keith Bradley, Ashley Dotson, Phil Pappas, Justin White, Taylor Peacock, Joey Doucette, Kyle Hess, and Kevin D'Elia will round out our top 10 there on the exit of pit road. But as we have this opportunity to do so, Jake, I'd love to talk about our title sponsor here on these Friday nights, Concerns of Police Survivors. Of course, we are honored and thrilled to announce the partnership between the Concerns of Police Survivors, otherwise known as C.O.P.S organization, and the North American Sim Racing Association, NASRA. And the C.O.P.S logo will shine bright across the live broadcast as the new title sponsor for the Friday night series. It was formerly known as the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. We want to send a special thank you to Mr. Lee Murphy, whose partnership with NASRA was done all in dedication to his father. He just asked that logo be placed on the back bumper of these trucks. We invite you to go check out all the wonderful things C.O.P.S does at concernsofpolicesurvivors.org. Again, that's concernsofpolicesurvivors.org. If you want more information about them, you can also head to our Facebook page at NASRA Racing, or just hop on over to Concerns of Police Survivors to find out what you can do and more information about that wonderful organization.
And they do a lot of great things. And well, I say it every week, but it is a big time deal to have the Concerns of Police Survivors not only sponsor the the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, not only sponsor this, but just the organization in itself and what it does and what it stands for. It's like I say all the time, with our front line, the police officers, everything that they've got to deal with. You see it every day on the news. You see everything that they deal with, and it's hard. It really is, Will, to see what they get put through on a daily basis. So it's great to see an organization, if you will, give back to the community, give back to the families of police officers that have been lost in the line of duty. So I say it every single week, and folks, I'm not changing my mind. No way, in shape, any shape, fashion, or form. This organization, really, really big organization for what they stand for and everything that they do. And I'm 100% behind them, and I hope everybody that's watching tonight is also behind them 100%, just like I am.
Yeah, absolutely, Jake. And I go off of what you're saying. Whatever your thoughts are on law enforcement, all of those men and women there in blue, they have families. Things happen to these wonderful police survivors out on the streets where their families have to be taken care of. Or we just had a police officer pass away here in South Florida off duty. So they have families. They have people that need to be taken care of. So go check out all the awesome things that Concerns of Police Survivors do for those families to make sure that those families are happy through those hard times that they might deal with. But here we go on this restart. We're creeping up towards the end of the ButtKicker 150. It's going to be Jeff Merrick, Blake Lothian, Keith Bradley, Ashley Dodson, Justin White, Phil Pappas, Joey Doucette, Taylor Peacock, Kevin D'Elia, and Kyle Hess will be our top 10 as they are rumbling across that start-finish line down to quarter number 1.
And these guys know right here, 25 laps to go. You're not saving anything at this point, Will. These guys right here, this is when, like I said earlier, this is when this intensity is going to pick up. This is when you're going to see some mistakes possibly happen. And coming out of a rookie like Jeff Merrick coming into this series, this is when you may see that one little slip. He's run a perfect race all race long, but just this could be at that point where he knows that the time is now. He's got a shot to lock himself into the playoffs. But we got a caution on the Speedway. That's going to end that run that Lothian was fixing to take a shot right there at Merrick. But we're going to see the caution right here.
We'll check out the on the pole instant replay here, and it looks like it's going to involve Adam Newton back there with Chris Blanchard in that 9. We'll see what happens. No, it's going to be the 37 of Raul Meza in that Serve Pro machine. It's going to get loose coming off of 2, and it's the exact same corner we've seen here tonight. The exit of 2 is just eating up these drivers, and I think it's just going to be a solo dolo caution there. Shout out to Kid Cudi, because he's just going to get absolutely sideways by himself. Yeah, he's Tokyo drifting there on the exit, and you see Chris Blanchard, he tries to check up, briefly makes contact there. Man, that's rough. Something about that corner tonight, Jake.
Absolutely. I mean, it's basically like the treacherous turn two at Darlington. You know, me and you, we know a lot about that treacherous turn two at Darlington. You know, this track, basically, I mean, that's what it is. Everybody's got to figure out a way around it. You just saw right there, riding on board with Raul Meza. You saw how that truck was bouncing around. You know, I mentioned it earlier about the over there that can upset the truck, can get that truck very, very loose. Obviously, that transition going from the corner all the way to the back stretch right there, just that one little slip, it can just send a truck straight around. And not only just the trucks, folks, it's not just the trucks. The Xfinity cars are in the same boat. The NASCAR Cup cars, when they run in official races here or in league races, they're in the same boat. It doesn't matter what vehicle you so choose to run here at Iowa. That turn two, with those bumps and the transition that it is, it just snaps you around every single time.
As we watch now, Jeff Merrick still leading the way. Blake Lothian right there. And you talked about it there. Before that yellow flag flew, Blake looked like he was hitting those Hot Wheel boosters trying to get around our race leader, Jeff Merrick. And I think you brought up a good point there, Jake, that Jeff Merrick, now this is the toughest part of the race. He knows that everybody's going to give it everything they can, try to knock him off that top spot. They're going to come with everything. Blake Lothian's going to try. Keith Bradley's going to try. And wouldn't you look now, Phil Pappas is right there in that 85 machine as well. Jake, for Jeff Merrick, if he can hold off this barrage of just absolute studs behind him with last year's champion Keith Bradley, Blake Lothian has been very hot this season. Phil Pappas, last week's winner in that 85. This race is definitely going to be one to cherish. Sweep the stages, hold off this barrage for the 60 machine. That's exactly what he has to do.
Absolutely, and the main thing that he's really got to do is he has got to get some outstanding restarts and get away from Blake Lothian, get away from Keith Bradley, get away from Phil Pappas, Ashley Dodson, all of these guys that's going to be breathing down his neck, some of the more veterans, I guess you could say, here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series, knowing that Merrick is a rookie because, well, we know this is a short track. I mean, obviously it is. It's under a mile, 0.8 miles. So this is a short track, and we know what happens at short tracks. Will bumping and banging. It's short track racing. That's what we say. So what Merrick really needs to do is, like I said, he needs to get away from these guys on these restarts and not give these guys the opportunity to drive in and throw the bumper to him. Because, I mean, hey, you're coming down to the end of it. You're coming down for a shot to win the race. I mean, honestly, well, hell, I'd wreck my mama for a win. I mean, I wouldn't wreck them. But I'd move my mama for a win here in this truck series, because you know that is an automatic postseason bid. And that's what all these guys are racing for. They're racing for wins, but they're also racing for the championship as well.
Also, I got to mention there, Jake, they're also racing for some cash money. All these races here at NASRA, we pay out our drivers. We pay our drivers for laps led, for stage wins. So these drivers also get paid every single race. And folks, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here tonight, watching along with us here on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and like that video. Like it on YouTube, like it on Facebook, share it if you so choose. You know, we do these races on Monday nights, Friday nights. We have a Wednesday night series coming up as well, Jake. And if we get another caution flag here tonight, I'll talk about that awesome money race we have coming up at Daytona. That's going to be on Saturday nights. And if you want the inside scoop, you want a little bit of a drama in your life, go check out the Hot Lot podcast on Thursday night. That's hosted by the boss man himself, Bray LaBeouf, and Tyler Dittmer, who currently leads the point standings in our Monday night series. So folks, go ahead and like us at NASRA Racing on Facebook or on YouTube. Subscribe to all this awesome iRacing action we got coming forth. But here we go to the end of the ButtKicker 150. It will be Jeff Merrick, Blake Lothian down to corner number 1.
And Merrick's going to get that restart. Basically, he must have big shot right here by Lothian. I was fixing to say Merrick must have been listening to me just a second ago trying to get those restarts. But Merrick took 1 and 2 very cautiously. Lothian dove it in there very, very hard. Now here
Whoa.
comes Lothian, makes a huge dive on the inside. Merrick's going to shut the door on him, and Merrick, for just a split second, is going to have the lead. Now Bradley's going to battle back with Lothian for second and maybe going even farther to challenge Merrick for the lead.
Yeah, you don't want to let the animal get out into that clean air because he'll run like a cheetah in the plains down on the inside of the 60 of Jeff Merrick into 3 and 4. Boy, this is so tight coming off of 4. You got Keith Bradley, you got Jeff Merrick. Oh no, they made contact. Blake Lothian, Keith Bradley, huge impact. Justin White as well. Oh my goodness. You see the frustration as Keith Bradley burns out from the top side of the racetrack. Jake, what did we just see there?
Well, I'm at a loss for words right there. I mean, honestly, I am. I mean, they got very, very tight over there off of turn number 4, as you're going to see right here on, the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. You see Lothian, Bradley's already to the inside. Lothian very, very tight up against the wall.
Oh.
And it looks like he just comes straight down and hooks Bradley straight into the fence. Merrick actually very, very lucky to be able to sneak through this. As you're going to see, very slight, maybe even a little bit of net code right there is what sent Bradley around. But no question about it, Lothian was straight down into the right rear of Bradley. Bradley gets set up straight head on into the fence, and you saw Merrick. I mean, a hell of a drive to be able to keep his truck straight and not go completely around. He was able to straighten it out. Some of these other guys come piling in, literally piling in. There's the Justin White right there. Kyle Hess, guys getting piled in, and then bam, there comes
James
another
Johnson.
one. Yeah, James Johnson slams hard into the inside or outside wall head on. But wow, I mean, that was very, very tight racing. And I mean, that's racing right there, Will. I mean, it's just tight right there. It's just Lothian just came down a little bit and just hooked him straight into the fence.
Yeah, and this is that crunch time of the race where you're going to see incidents like this. You're going to see drivers who have been inside the top 5, top 3 all race long have their nights ended like this. And for Keith Bradley and Blake Lothian, especially for the 43 truck of Blake Lothian, who's been trying to break through, get that first win of the season out of the way. He had the doors shut on him at New Hampshire. Didn't run as well last week either. Here tonight was inside the top 3. You saw him making big moves there for the lead. Actually had to file back behind Jeff Merrick after making a move for the lead. Now has his truck completely destroyed. Maybe get that thing back out to finish a few laps here. But what I'm interested to see, if that damage to the 60 of Jeff Merrick, you did see him involved in that, will that cause any lack of speed? And what that could allow is the door to be open for Taylor Peacock on that 81. We haven't called his name out barely tonight. And wouldn't you know it, Ashley Dotson in that 88 machine, who got that hard luck award last week from the Milwaukee Mile, was involved in an early caution here tonight, finds himself with a legitimate shot at the win here with just a few laps to go.
And don't count out Joey Doucette right there with him. You got Kevin D'Elia right there and the number 53 right there with him, as well as Jacob Klinkhart. But, Will, to go back to what you were saying right there, I'm sitting here looking at the truck of Jeff Merrick. I'm looking at all camera angles as much as I possibly can right here. And, that was in the left rear right there around where the left rear tire is. And, well, I'm looking at all cameras. I'm looking all the way around right here on the broadcast. I'm looking on my end. And, right here, I'm looking at it right here. The left rear is absolutely clean. So Merrick may have dodged a bullet big time right there and not had that left rear crinkled up. It's not going to affect him anywhere in the aero or anything like that. So his truck may be in good shape, but now he's got to dodge some more bullets with the likes of Ashley Dodson. No pun intended to that. But Dodson's going to be right behind him, and Peacock's going to be to his outside. I'm telling you, Will, this right here, I think we have only yet to begun to see the fireworks here tonight.
Folks, we're going to have 3 green-white checkers if it comes down to it. Also want to spotlight our new hard charger so far in this race. Michael McKinnon, I've called his name out a few times here tonight. It has just lingered in the 11th spot, 12th spot due to some of these cautions here. Now he's moved up inside of the top 10, up to 7th, up 22 spots from the drop of the green flag. That Pulse Poppers machine has been fly fishing positions here tonight, racing out of Pleasant Hill. Right there at 13, and I think that's one of the drivers that's a little under the radar here in this series, Jake. Nobody really talks about him, but he's very consistent.
Very consistent, and we've had him up here in the booth a couple of times with us, Will, helping us call races. And, you know, Michael, like you said, under the radar, underrated is the word that I would say.
Exactly.
He's very, very underrated. This man knows how to get it done here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series. He just gets a little bit of bad luck sometimes, but check it out. It started 29th out of 29. Dead last on the field all the way up here to 7th right now. We'll see if he's got anything for Jeff Merrick and others up in front of him as the green flag is in the air. Now Taylor Peacock on that outside. We'll see if Peacock will have anything for Jeff Merrick, or if Jeff Merrick's going to pull away and get him a win here tonight in the ButtKicker 150.
Another awesome restart for the 60 machine and Jeff Merrick as he takes us down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Taylor Peacock is trying to let his colors fly here tonight as he looks to try to catch something off of corner number 4 as Jeff Merrick's getting out of that clean air. And Jake, that's not going to bode well for the rest of the field. You let him fly with those Goodyear Eagles, it might all but sign, seal, and deliver the race win to that 60 as we head into 3 and 4.
Peacock still trying to figure out a way, try to get some kind of thing, something mustered up, if anything, right now. Ashley Dodson still trying to figure out a way to try to get around him. Joker Joey Doucette, still running in 4th. And check this out, Kevin D'Elia in that 53 truck. I mean, really starting to put the pressure right here on the Joker Joey Doucette. Boy, that's a tongue twister for you. But anyway, looking 3 wide now off of turn number 4 as D'Elia almost gets into the back of Joey Doucette as Dodson run all the way up top. And check it out, here comes Justin Lumpkin. He's going to get in the middle of this battle.
Yeah, Lumpkin in the mix as well. He's one of those guys that have really dusted his shoulder off here tonight. He's fought through adversity as he makes contact there with the top side wall. Kevin D'Elia will take advantage of that as he heads to the inside. All this going on as Jeff Merrick still padding that lead almost up to a second on the racetrack. Kevin D'Elia now has to throw that tail in front of Jacob Klinkart in that 5, folks. This is all battles to stay inside the top 10. Another driver that's still inside the top 10. Adam Newton's back in the mix as well. Cody Knott in that 26, just 1 spot out of that as their single file. Ashley Dodson looks at the inside of the 81 of Taylor Peacock here. This is for the 2nd position on the racetrack as Taylor Peacock goes very, very high. We're going to make it 5 laps to go into corners 1 and 2. Jeff Merrick still leading the way.
And Doucette is caught to Ashley Dodson's caught him, and he's going for 3rd. Doucette all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Dodson going to try to see if he can run the top. And we've seen, it's no question, what Ashley Dodson's line is going to be. He has been right on that seam all race long, getting the run off of the corner. So Dodson, for the moment, will clear Joey Doucette. And now check out Justin Lumpkin. He's going to try to take a battle for Joey Doucette, try to see if he can get to 4th spot.
These are battle for the podiums as our leader, Jeff Merrick, continues to separate. Joey Doucette's going to look to the inside of Ashley Dodson in that 88 machine. Ashley Dodson racing out of Australia. The Joker right there, the 16 machine, fell just 1 point shy of that championship 6 last year, trying to keep that momentum going here this season. Taylor Peacock in that 81 looks coming off of corner number 2, sees Jeff Merrick turning into a mirage as we're on with 3 laps to go, coming off of 4. He's going to get the 2 to go as he heads into 1.
And Merrick is basically saying that he hopes everybody will just keep it clean, keep it green for me here at Iowa. That's exactly what he is wanting right now with 2 to go. Merrick, a huge lead. If he gets back to the line right here, coming off of turn number 4, barring a caution or anything happening right here, Merrick has got this bad boy in the bag.
As we watch Jeff Merrick take the white flag into 1 and 2, he'll take the field off of the corner, down the backstretch. Jake, as the rest of the field are battling it out for positions. It looks like Jeff Merrick in that 60 will get his first win of the season. It's the rookie who will win the ButtKicker 150, sweeps the stages, and takes the checkered flag.
Domination by the rookie here tonight. Ashley Dodson tried to make one last ditch effort to try to get to Taylor Peacock. Was not able to do it. So Peacock will get second. Dodson will get third. Justin Lumpkin fourth. Joey Doucette getting a top 5 after a hard-fought race. Started 21st all the way to 5th. Great race right there, Will. I mean, we had a little bit of controversy, had a little bit of, I guess you could say, maybe a little bit too much aggression. But the one man that was able to keep it out front, as you see him burning it down here at Iowa, the rookie getting his first win of the year, first win of the season, first win ever here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series. Jeff Merrick burning it down here at Iowa.
Yeah, as mentioned, he won that qualifier race during Speed Weeks. Of course, a non-points event there. It took him a while to put that 60 back in victory lane. As you mentioned, Jake ruffled some feathers, but now gets to burn it down on the front stretch here. The cornfields of Iowa. The rookie is making himself known here with a dominant performance. He sure kicked some butts here in the ButtKicker 150, as boy, he looks to be just ecstatic with this win.
He is absolutely ecstatic, and I'm telling you, I mean, I would be too, honestly. You know, if I got me a win, like I said, here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series, we know how tight this competition is on a weekly basis, Will, because we see it every single week, and these drivers know it every single week, and the fans that watch it at home know this every single week, that this competition is so tight. It is hard to get a win. So Merrick really excited for this and showing it, you know, showing every bit of it right here. And well-deserved win right here by the rookie Jeff Merrick.
As we await our winner to pull into victory lane, it is time to go over the official results here. The ButtKicker 150. We just saw Jeff Merrick take that checkered flag. Second place going to go to Taylor Peacock, who finishes 5 spots to the good. Ashley Dotson will round out our podium. Justin Lumpkin up 14 spots from the drop of the green flag. He'll finish inside the top 5. Joey Doucette, the Joker, is going to match that car number up 16 spots from the drop of the green flag. Finishes 5th. In 6th spot, we have Kevin D'Elia. 7th, Jacob Klinkart in that 5. 8th, Chris Cinnamon in that 3. Adam Newton, the 82, is going to scrap back in to finish inside the top 10, and our top 10 will be rounded out by Ted Wade in that 32.
Michael McKinnon all the way from dead last 29th spot all the way up to 11th. Great run by Michael McKinnon. Cody Knott from 19th all the way to 12th. Big run for him. Jose Luis Rivera, one of those guys that had to start in the back as well. 23rd starting spot all the way up to 13th. So good run by Jose Luis Rivera. Christopher Blanchard will get 14th. Brandon Bullock will be 15th. Huck Wigington 16th. Dana Shepard 17th. 18th. Keith Bradley, you hate to see it. I mean, it's very bad to see that right there. I mean, you hate to see that, especially with him up there running for the lead, the past champion. Then with Keith Bradley going to be 18th, with Adam Johnson 19th, and Blake Lothian, the guy that got into Keith Bradley and caused all of that, going back to, and he's going to finish 20th.
Yeah, looking at the rest of the field there, Ed Osborne's going to finish 21st. Phil Pappas, last week's winner, unfortunately, is going to finish 22nd here tonight. He's going to be caught up in one of those late race cautions. Justin White's going to finish 23rd. Kyle Hess, 24th. Raul Meza, 25th. Zach Hartwick, 26th. Bobby Richards, 27th. James D. Morris and Trey Pitts will round out our field here tonight in the ButtKicker 150. But let's waste no time. Let's talk to a man who finally cracks that victory lane, gets inside there, the number 60 machine. I'd say he's in contention for Rookie of the Year, also in contention for champion here, the concerns of police survivors very early on as he locks that machine into those playoff races. We're speaking with Jeff Merrick, the driver of the 60 machine. Jeff, that was an absolute showcase dominance. You sweep both stages, you take the checkered flag. How did you get that done here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, over here at Upfront Motorsports, we unloaded the truck, and it was pretty fast right from the get go. Put it on the pole. Um, I put in some practice laps over the week. Kind of helped a lot. I don't want to give too much away, but Keith got behind me on that one run, and I think I picked something up off of him behind me in the mirror, and then once I picked that up, it was just it'd have been real hard for anybody to get around me because I was saving tires and I was running the fastest laps, so it was pretty easy. We was in a rocking chair there with about 3.5 second lead, and then something a little silly happened, but the guy feels real bad about it. He apologized and apologized and apologized. So I told him no hard feelings. It didn't affect the outcome really. So man, I'm just real happy for John Hendrick over the top motorsports or over the top designs. He brought me over here because he knows how good of a driver I am, and I felt bad because the luck I've been having first 3 or 4 races was just terrible, and I finally put one on the pole and put one in victory lane for him. So I'm real happy about that.
Yeah, and let's talk about something I noticed during the race. You know, in the first start of those green flag runs, it almost seemed like to me you were holding the reins just a little bit. You wanted that stallion to run. And then towards the midpoint or the late side of those runs was really where you let those Goodyear Eagles fly. Was that sort of the strategy here tonight? Because you win this race almost by about 3 seconds or so. So later on in those runs, it seems like your truck got faster instead of slower.
Yeah, I mean, not to give, I don't like giving a lot away.
Right.
Some people come back and watch interviews, but yeah, that's kind of what I was doing. I was driving my strategy. I'll say that, and I wasn't. I think I alluded to that a little earlier that you can't chase the rabbit because you're running somebody else's race, and then you're burning your stuff up, and then you look up, and they're driving away. So that's kind of the headspace you got to get into headspace and just run your race, run your race, run your race. Because when you run somebody else's, you've already lost and you just don't know it yet.
As the old story of the tortoise and the hare goes, Jeff, I think you got that strategy down perfectly. Speaking with Jeff Merrick, the driver of the number 60 machine who wins the ButtKicker 150. And Jeff, looking at our YouTube chat, you have some fans out there, people saying congratulations, Jeffrey Merrick, well done. You have another person saying great win, Merrick. And as you put that 60 machine now in those playoff races early on in the season, what does this win mean for you?
Oh, it means a lot. I alluded to it a little earlier. I got a win for John Hendrick, and I ran a league with him a while back, and he just reached out to me out of the blue and said, "Hey, Merck, I got a spot on my team over here at Nazareth. If you want to come hop in the seat." And I was like, "Yeah, I'd be more than happy to come over there and run it for you." The only part I didn't like about it, he said I had to drive a Ford, but I can live with that. So yeah, John, a lot of people look at this as like, hey, it's just a game, but to me, as close as I'll get to ever driving a real car. So when I get into a good league like this with a lot of competition, I feel bad for Keith because I would have really liked to race him for the win, but he got caught up in that incident down the front, which, be honest with you, I was looking at it in my mirror, and I thought all 3 of us were going to die. But luckily, it just put me in the wall, and I stayed there and didn't get a lot of damage. So, yeah, that's win. This is the first win for me over here at Nazareth. I plan on putting a lot more medals on the shelf over at Upfront Motorsports.
Yeah, you lead 147 laps here tonight. Looking forward to Kansas. What are your chances of going back-to-back here in the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series?
I really like Kansas. Kansas is another one of my favorites. Kansas, Iowa. I really like the technical tracks with some banking. Flat tracks aren't really my thing, but I do okay at them. But high banked technical tracks, I love them, and I like my odds at Kansas. We'll see how it goes.
There we go. It's that confidence out of the 60 that we've seen all season long so far. And Jeff, before we let you go out of victory lane, you already mentioned some people that thank you to put you in this victory lane here tonight. Is there anybody else you wanted to shout out before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, I would like to thank all those fans that are rooting for me in the chat. One of them probably my loving wife in there watching the broadcast in the living room. So big shout out to her. Without her, I couldn't do this. I love her to death, and she lets me do this as my hobby. Um, I might miss some of the sponsors here, but we're going to start out with my main guy, Hendrick, John Hendrick over the top designs, owner of Upfront Motorsports. If you need a paint, go look him up. He'll hook you up. The guys at Nazra Broadcasting 360, I think, or I might have probably screwed that up. Who else we got? Blanchard's Towing. If Northeast and you need a tow, give Blanchard a call. He's a great dude, a great teammate. Was that Dan's Heating and Cooling on the front there? And C.O.P.S, Concerns of Police Survivors. My wife's entire family was C.O.P.S, so anything to do with the C.O.P.S, I really appreciate those guys. This is one of the most underappreciated jobs we have. Get Iowa Speedway for putting on the race, and Nazareth. We got the broadcaster, got the wife. I think I got everybody.
First time in victory lane for the 60 machine of Jeff Merrick, and as he mentioned, I don't think it's going to be the last time we see that 60 in victory lane. Congratulations from us here at the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Go celebrate this weekend. Cannot wait to see you back here next Friday.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. That was the driver of the 60 machine, Jeff Merrick, who wins the ButtKicker 150. But now, Jake, I believe you're catching up with our second place finisher. He finishes 5 spots to the good. Big run there towards the end of the race to crack inside the podium. Take it away with Taylor Peacock.
Yeah, Taylor Peacock. This is Jake Reeves. You got a copy, buddy?
What's up, Jake?
Not much, just hanging out pretty much. But Taylor, coming into the night, looked like you had some speed right there. Obviously from the drop of the green flag. What would it have took to be able to catch Jeff Merrick?
Oh man, I'll be honest. I didn't quite have enough to catch Jeff there. I think what it would have took is I needed him to slip one time right there. But me and Jeff are teammates, and working with him, following him, just watching how he was driving the line really helped me there. I think I got 6th and 5th in the stages. So I mean, I was right there on the top 5 car. Caught that little break getting through that wreck there at the end. That was a bit hairy. Had a puckered up moment there. I got like a little bit of luck to get up to second. But I had a top 5 car. It was a good race all around. Good stage points. Iowa was a fun track. That was a good time.
Absolutely, and I was one of the, I guess you could say, more funner, or one of most fun, I guess. I don't know, my lingo was probably wrong, but anyway, one of the
I
better.
agree with you, buddy.
Yeah, hey, I do the best I can with it. But anyway, with the short tracks, you had New Hampshire, you had Milwaukee Mile, you had Iowa here tonight. Now you're fixing to get back into swing of things, go back to a mile and a half, that being at the Kansas Speedway. What are you looking forward to at Kansas Speedway from a 3 short track stretch?
To be honest, I like to keep the short tracks going. That plays into my hand a lot more than the mile and a halves. I'll be honest. Kansas is one of my better mile and a halves. I will say that. I guess I need to put some practice in, and I'm looking to see where we stack up at the mile and a halves. Because I know at the end of the season it comes down to mile and a half track, so I need to step my game up there for sure.
Well, Taylor Peacock coming off with a great second place finish tonight here at Iowa. Taylor, before we let you go, do you have anybody that you want to thank that made this possible and put that 81 up there in second place here tonight?
Oh, for sure. Over the top designs with John, our team owner. He's awesome. He's just awesome guy to race for, team owner, and does awesome paint jobs. Blanchard's Towing. Blanchard's one of my teammates. What we got? Pulse Poppers, Dan's Heating and Cooling, and Concerns of Police Survivors for sponsoring the league here. Brady for putting the whole thing on. Gotta thank my commentators. You guys always do a hell of a job, and I appreciate you guys coming back. You make a good team. It's always fun going back and listening. And my teammates at Upfront Motorsports, we had a damn good run tonight. Gained some team points here. So on to the next. I'll hopefully talk to you guys next week.
We love the shout outs and we love to be a part of those shout outs, Taylor. We appreciate
You
you.
guys deserve it. You
Appreciate
guys deserve it.
Well, we do appreciate it, and we appreciate you showing us your talent here this evening, coming out, getting that second place finish at Iowa. Hopefully we'll see you and talk to you a little bit at the end of the Kansas race next week.
10-4, buddy.
And that was Taylor Peacock, got that second place finish tonight
Oh, yeah.
here at Iowa. And Will, have you caught up with our third place finisher, Ashley Dodson?
Yeah, we kept him waiting. I'm not sure what time it is out in Australia, but Mr. Ashley Dotson, that 88 machine, is going to crack inside the podium here, finishes third. Another great run out of the 88. And Ashley, you were a hard luck award winner from last week. You used that hard luck to turn it into some good luck here tonight, finishing third. Take us through your race here tonight.
Howdy, boys. Yeah, it was a good race. Just same old, man. If I didn't get caught speeding on the first stage, coming out of pit, we're right on the lane, and I just tried to give that little bit extra. I was like one over, and it caught me. But apart from that, going to the back and then trying to come back through the field again, man, it was a hell of a fun race.
Yeah, it was a scrappy race indeed, but it never seemed like you gave up on the race. You know, it was a caution field there towards the end. You know, you had the leaders crash out. What was your strategy going through here? As you saw different drivers headed down pit road, different strategies throughout the runs. What was your take on Iowa?
Well, with I don't know. A lot of the guys run that bottom line, and I purely stuck to the top line the whole way around. But towards the end of a long run, you could see that I had the pace, and I don't know, I could just get a better run than what most. I don't know about Merck. Merck was still quicker than me, but as for the pit stages, like the fuel capacity we were running at, like you didn't really need to do that green flag stop. You know what I mean? For those who probably didn't know about that, and they probably would have lost a hell of a lot of time going into pits early, but yeah, there was no need for it. If you did, you were just going to go backwards and not really go anywhere, not unless the last second caution come out and you had fresh tyres.
You're leading a charge of rookies here in the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. You know, you have a rookie win, you have a rookie finishing third in yourself. What do you think it is about you guys that are coming into this league, not only are comfortable with the, let's call it the veterans of Nazareth, but you're also racing very, very competitive week in and week out?
I mean, that's true, but at the same time too, like I've raced a lot of these guys in here for over a lot of years, and to come back, I didn't race for a good 4 or 5 years, and then here I am, come back, did the Xfinity, and then now here I am in the trucks. But it's just great to run up with these guys. Like I've raced with them in the past. I got like heaps of trust. We can run side by side, and someone can run me the walls, and I don't need to worry about them running me down or spinning me out.
And we look forward just a couple weeks here. Of course, we're going to go see Dorothy and Toto at Kansas next week, and then we go to the Daytona Road Course. When do you think we're going to see that 88 in Victory Lane?
Oh man, it should have been last week. It should have been today. But I'm sure for the road course, I think a lot of the guys know I'm pretty quick. So, there's going to be Blake Lothian, Keith, they're going to give me a run. Maybe even Ted's going to be up there. Don't get me wrong, there's probably other guys that are still quick too, just haven't shown their colours. But only time will tell.
Speaking with Ashley Dotson, the driver of the 88 machine, coming home third here tonight, racing out of Australia. And I got to ask you before we let you go, what time is it over there right now?
All right, so it is 12:47. So it's midday, nearly come on 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh my goodness, that's wild there. Ashley Dotson, he's having lunch while we're all thinking about going to bed here at the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. And Ashley, it's already the weekend for you, so we invite you to go celebrate this third place finish. But before we let you go, anybody you wanted to shout out or any sponsors that helped you to get this third place finish?
Oh, for sure. Just everyone at Nazareth. 100%, even you guys in the broadcast booth do an amazing job week in, week out, even with all us drivers whinging and carrying on behind the scenes. But C.O.P.S, Concerns Police Survivors, all of my teammates over at M1, I mean, it's been great so far, and let's keep pushing and hopefully get that win.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you taking the time with us here. Ashley Dotson, the driver of the 88 machine. Go have a great weekend. Cannot wait to see you back here next Friday night.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Sir, and Jake, of course, that was our podium finishers here. One absolute awesome race we saw here at Iowa. I think it's everything we've seen every week here at NASRA, whether it's on the Monday night series, Friday night series, very competitive to the end. And we heard from Jeff Merrick that didn't want to give away a lot of those secrets, but he definitely had a little bit of an ace in the hole, if you like to say, here at Iowa.
Yeah, and Will, everybody's got those aces in the hole, if you will. Everybody's got that little bit extra. Everybody's got their stomping grounds, if you will. And we seen Merrick, run exceptionally well at the Milwaukee Mile. We've seen him run exceptionally well at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So I mean, those being short tracks, and then coming out here and wheeling and dealing out here tonight here at Iowa Speedway. I mean, I just looked at the stats right here. Chris Sandeman led 3 laps in his 150-lap race. You want to take a wild guess who led the other 147? Well, I'll go ahead and tell you. It was Jeff Merrick. He literally showed them how to do it, literally showed them that this was literally his house, and had a stranglehold on this bad boy. Now, granted, the little bit of incident with Bradley, with Lothian, did that play into a factor with it just a little bit? We'll never know. I mean, we can only speculate what would have happened had Lothian and Bradley not got caught up in that accident. We can only speculate, but great race, great clean race. Obviously, with it being a short track, very, very clean race. Now we're fixing to get back to the mile and a half, the bread and butter of the C.O.P.S Truck Series. Going to Kansas next week. High line dominant. Bottom lane. Drivers can run the bottom lane. It's going to be an excellent race next week. But congrats to the rookie showing these guys how to do it here at Iowa. I don't think anybody saw that coming. We knew he had speed. We just didn't think it was just going to be that dominant.
Absolutely. Cannot wait for next week's race at Kansas, where we go see Dorothy and Toto. As they say, we're not in Kansas anymore, but we're going to be next week. And before we go here tonight, of course, we want to thank our sponsors, definitely Concerns of Police Survivors, for being our Friday night sponsor all the way around. Special thank you to Lee Murphy, whose partnership was done in dedication to his father. All he asks is that those logos be placed on the back of those trucks. Again, we invite you to go check them out at Concerns of Police Survivors.org. We also want to shout out our Hard Luck Award, sponsored by Flieger Farm Paint Shop. And folks, I don't know of any other painter out there, any kind of wrap company in iRacing that's offering you a free paint scheme for first-time customers. If you have an idea, go contact Adam at Flieger Farm Paints on Facebook today. Ask about that free paint scheme. You can get one paint scheme out of the way. You can rock it as long as you can. Throw another one on there. See what Adam can do. Go hit him up at Flieger Farm Paint Shop today. And folks, I believe that's going to wrap it up here, and we're going to shout out also, go check us out on Facebook, Twitter, otherwise known as X now, YouTube. Go check out our Hot Lap podcast on Thursday nights. Check us out again on simracerhub.com. Truck Series on Monday nights as well. Here tonight, we saw a dominating performance out of Jeff Merrick in that 60. As Jake just alluded to, leads 147 laps here in the ButtKicker 150 presented by NASRA. As Jeff Merrick is our race winner this week, we head to Kansas next week in week number 6 of the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. For myself, William Tiller, also Mr. Jake Reeves, and Adam Flieger, the man providing all those sights and sounds of tonight's race, we want to thank you for tuning in, and we invite you to join us next week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more exciting iRacing action. This has been a NASRA 360 Racing Network production. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you soon.